Hello, welcome to my garden. Today I'm giving you a little garden tour. This is more like a diary for me. I'm working on my garden to turn it into this beautiful cottage garden that's full of plants and flowers and almost no lawn, but my garden is almost 800 square meters. Even with the space that the house takes, the yard is at least 600 square meters, which is a lot of yard to take care of and also a lot of planting to do if I want to fill it all and make it a real cottage garden, which is my plan. So I hope you'll enjoy this first installment to my garden diary, my Finnish cottage garden diary, trying to fill my garden even though it's cold and not always easy for the plants here in Finland. Let's get started. I'll show you what I've got now and I'll tell you a little about my plans. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I cut my hair and I might look a little different. I hope you like it though. Our garden is the most lovely to approach from the back. Behind our yard there goes like this walkway where people can walk, and from that walkway you can approach our backyard through this little path where I walk every day with my dogs. The sides of the path are covered in natural blueberries, which I'm planning to snatch a few of them and plant onto my yard. Since they are doing so well here, I'm sure they would do fine in my yard as well. We have a big hedge that I like it a little overgrown, but maybe it needs some trimming in the autumn. And here is a big stone. It's a big stone with a little plant growing on top of it. Here is our gate into our garden, and I have some climbing plants. I set them there last year. They are perennials, but you need to cut them every spring, and I think it takes some time for them to become growing fast every year and to fill this arch here. If you continue following the path, you'll make it to our front door or to our garage, which is not used as a garage. It's too small for our a little bit larger car. Not that it's large, but the garage was built in the day when cars were even smaller. On this side I have some weeds that are very invasive and are ugly and huge and don't fit what I'm looking for, and I'm hoping to dry them so that they can't replant themselves. And then it's a huge old apple tree. The apples are straight up nasty, but look at how pretty it is. It's a gorgeous thing to have in this garden. And even though for apples I've been planning to plant some new apple trees, this old one can stay here just for the looks and for the beauty of it. Look at those little blooms. And on the other side, at the back of our backyard, where I've started working, I don't have much flowers going on yet. I'm just trying to plant perennial bushes, fruit trees, and all kinds of bushes and trees that will fill up the space, and then I will add flowers later. This tree stump here in the corner, I hope to dig around it and fill it with some flowers already this summer, quite soon, whenever I just have time. I'm planning to put as much perennial flowers there as possible. Perennials are really the way to go for me, since I'm trying to create a low maintenance garden, or relatively low maintenance garden. Now let me show you the plants. Here is my rhododendron that I just planted a few weeks ago. The flowers might be looking a little sad right now. It had wonderful, glorious blooms just a little time ago. I'll leave a picture if I remember, but I wouldn't be too worried. I don't know how long they normally have the flowers for, but as you can see, there's fresh green leaves that are growing really fast. The branches are really expanding out, so I wouldn't be worried that the plant is not doing well. But then again, I don't know anything, so I might be wrong. Here is an old red currant bush. It's huge, it's gorgeous, and it makes so much red currant berries that you can't fit them all in the freezer. It's quite old. It was here far before we got here, moved in here, but I love this bush and I gave it just a little bit fertilizer this spring, and I try to keep it growing. I love how it extends towards the afternoon sun that gets to this spot. It's just enjoying its life there. You can see how the ground has kind of built this little bump, which I assume is full of roots. Then here, just a few days ago, I planted here a white currant and a black currant bush. We had already some black currant on the other side of the property, but I wanted to plant some here, and I hope these are gonna grow and flourish just like their friend. And I assume I'm already gonna get like 3 berries from them this year. I'm really trying to take good care of them, and I wish they grow really well. I will give them fertilizer and take good care of them to my best of my ability, but a lot of my gardening so far is just trial and error, so I don't punish myself too much if I fail taking care of some things, except if it's my precious pear tree. I already made one crucial mistake, leaving a supporting stick with some like bands on it, and the bark has a little bit of damage from that, and I feel really bad, but I'm hoping it will manage. It has these beautiful flowers, and the flowers were looking even better just a day or two ago when they were completely white and gorgeous still. Now they are crusting a little, but I really hope this one grows. It's kind of on a windy spot and growing kind of wonky, but I have my hopes high. I'm sure it will flourish when I just take good care of it. I hope. And on the other side here, we have a cherry tree. This is Max's cherry tree. It has little flowers here, which makes me think maybe we are gonna get few cherries this year. I don't think the pear tree is gonna give any pear stress, even though it had already a lot of flowers. But with the cherry tree, I think we have good chances of getting few cherries, since last year, for example, it didn't give us any flowers, so it now having flowers could just be the thing that's needed. Behind this little garden cottage, I also have these little blue flowers. They are gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, and I told Max to not mow them when he mows the lawn. I hope he will not do that, but some of them took a little damage last time he mowed the lawn. They just grow here naturally, so I hope to give them the best chances in life to expand. And here I have, I don't know what this one is called, but they will have round berries whenever they grow. This bush tends to get covered in all kinds of vines, and the berries it makes are absolutely atrocious. They taste disgusting, but I like how the bush looks. It's cute, so I approve of it staying. Okay, I just took a little break to pull out some weeds, but I'm back. Here's this, in Finnish we call it syrääni, probably something similar in English. It's huge and probably gonna have some flowers this year too. It was humongous when we got this house, and we cut it down so that it would grow cuter back. Here are my tomatoes, which seem to have been watered. I did water them in the morning, but I thought maybe they need some water Still more. It's just mini tomatoes growing there. I hope they're not gonna die, but they might just die. I'm just testing out if I can keep them alive. Nothing more serious. And then there's the peas, but the peas are dying. They are dying. And I also put some flowers here that I hope will grow, and then I'll plant them somewhere. Now here next to my garden table that I got for $40 second hand, I have this perennial shadow shade garden thing going on, where I have these ones. They haven't quite recovered from the winter yet. It was their first winter, but they are alive, I would say. There are some of the similar plants that grow here naturally, and then there are these that we call fox's bread. I'm not going to... they're technically weed, I guess, but I'm going to let them stay here because I love how they look and they have cute little white flowers. And lastly, here are these. It's hosta or something that they are called. They survived the winter, even though first I thought that they had died, but now they are coming back strong. I gave them all water and fertilizer. I gave the fertilizer like directly to the root. I hope that's not wrong, but I did it, and I hope they will survive and do well. I haven't removed the weeds from this place, but I will do that at some point. I will try to keep up with the weeds and murder them regularly. Here's another one that's sprouting there and there and there and there. And I think all of the ones I planted survived the winter, so I'm quite hopeful. Now I'm gonna take you to the front of the yard, which I'm gonna go through this shadow path here. I need to figure out also good shadow plants, maybe some bushes and trees that do well in shadow to put here in this kind of corridory space of our garden that's still like 4 meters wide. Not really a corridor. But I need to fill it with something that does well in shadow. It barely gets hit by the sun at all. Even though when we cut down some of these bigger trees, it might get more light. The bigger trees will unfortunately need to go, even though I think they are lovely. But the one on the left spreads like really doesn't want to let go of my garden. And this one, they both also cover the roof, and we want to put solar panels on the roof that's full south, and the solar panels won't work if there's trees in front of them directly, so they will need to go. And I'm probably going to fill this front of our yard with smaller trees like apple trees, maybe another or more than just one, maybe pear trees. I don't know how plum does in a lot of sun, maybe plum. I want all kinds of fruit and berry trees that I will plant whenever we have cut down these big boys. I also have these blackcurrant bushes here. These were here before we moved in. We cut them all really short, and this one got back up right away, and it's gonna give us some good berries this year. This one is slowly but surely sprouting from within the weeds. It's returning. It has a lot of old roots, so it really has something to fall back on. And here is another one that sprouted back almost immediately after we cut it, and it's the third summer since it's been cut, so it's gonna give a bunch of berries again as well. Here is where I cut down the freaking invasive weeds that don't want to leave our garden alone. I'm going to keep murdering them through the summer, and hopefully next year they will not return anymore. but I need to dig the roots out, and the roots are the size of a zucchini a lot of the time. So here's a driveway, and I'm not going to show you the car because I don't want to put my register plate or license plate online. But here I also planted some perennial flowers, and I'm not sure which ones of these are the flowers that I planted, but I'm hoping I'll find out. I'm thinking this is something I planted, and I'm thinking these are also something I planted, but I really don't know. But as long as it's cute and it's not dandelions, I'm gonna let them grow here. And right now I'm gonna rip out a dandelion that doesn't do anything, but the roots are still there. And another dandelion. Dandelions are the bane of my existence. They will not leave my garden alone. But I hope that if I start just ripping them out at the start of the summer, it will not get too bad towards the end of the summer. Here's also some planties. I'm not quite sure. I should probably cut the brown parts. Not quite sure. I don't actually know what this plant is and how to care for it. It's been here since we moved here, and it looks quite pretty sometimes. It's big and it's clearly established and it's clearly perennial. So I'm just gonna let it stay. And here is Max's attempt at gardening, which is some succulents on a tree stem, and the birds blacked them out or something, so that didn't go so well, but some of them are still alive, some of them are growing there, and you know, hopefully they will keep at it. Stay at it. Here's also a little maple tree. Some tree that I've tried to murder, but it keeps coming back from the roots. Here's our well that might or might not have water. Here's our wood chopping block, and there you can see we came all the way around the house. And we have a little pine here, which unfortunately I think I'm gonna cut that one down as well. Even though pines are cute, it is going to grow like 20 meters tall, and I don't think that's perfect for the vibe of my yard. I want to have plants that are manageable and don't grow more than this apple tree here, which is, what would I say, this 5 or 6 meters maybe, to the top of that beautiful apple tree. Now you have seen all of my garden. I really hope you enjoyed it. Happy to see you stuck around for the entire video. This channel is really a mess. I post all kinds of videos here, just whatever I'm kind of feeling like. I'm very much a person who likes doing every kind of thing, and I'm always doing something different. So if you enjoy the vibes, please subscribe and watch others of my videos. If you just enjoy certain videos that I make, that's perfectly fine. You can still subscribe. You don't need to watch everything I post. By no means. I really appreciate you watched this video, and I will hopefully see you in another one. Bye bye!